Right, tonight folks, I'm at Sneaky Pete's tonight to see the excellent Neverfine. We've got Jessica on the right, we've got Craig in the middle, and we've got Ashley, lead vocalist. Can you tell me a little bit about the band and how the band started?
So Neverfine started initially with Craig coming up with some just ideas, just messing about with some beats and stuff, that turned into fully fledged ideas, and then he presented them to me because he knew that I was a vocalist and that I'd studied music, and then it just kind of spiraled from there, and then at a later date we introduced Jess, and that's how Neverfine came to be.
So you released the debut single Silhouettes in April. I caught your eye a few weeks ago with the excellent Imaginary Friends. What's the song about, and do you all collaborate together in the songwriting?
I think that you wrote the main concept, so you should probably answer that.
Yeah, Imaginary Friends was actually the easiest song to write on the EP. It's one of those songs where it explores the themes and ideas of your mental health and that idea of a downward spiral. I'm a big fan of Alice in Wonderland as well, so it's got an Alice in Wonderland metaphor there. So I really wanted to explore that theme in Imaginary Friends.
So your debut EP released yesterday to coincide with the gig tonight, Do Everything, Feel Nothing. What's the response been like with the 3 releases so far that you've had?
Really good, yeah, because we essentially announced that we were a band in March, it was the end of March, and then we put this first song up on BBC Uploader, and then within a week they played it, which was very fast, and we're like, oh right, and then it started getting a lot of attention, and then it's been the same with every single since then. It's went really well, and everything's been happening a lot quicker than we thought it would, which is really cool, but at the same time it's like, no, it's been really cool. Everyone's been loving it, and we've listened to the songs like a million times, and we still like them, so that's something as well. So yeah.
So who would you say are your biggest influences?
Well, we all come from different musical backgrounds. Like Jess does a lot of classical, she's into a lot of folk stuff. We both kind of come from rock and metal-y stuff, but different types.
Yeah, I've been saying to people that with Neverfine, we wanted to try something different, considering that we do come from different backgrounds of genres. We really wanted to challenge ourselves as musicians with the project, and I think we've done really well so far to achieve that.
I think in terms of bands, we all have different people. I always go Churches, Rufus the Soul, Purity Ring, and Health. Magdalena Bay as well. We love Magdalena Bay.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah. That's probably the closest people to know.
Yeah, in terms of the band and our influences when it comes to Neverfine, definitely those are great sources and good ideas as well. Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Neverfine?
So we were it's during lockdown, and so I have borderline personality disorder, and it's a whole mental health thing. I won't go on about it, but I struggle with it, and during lockdown it was really, really bad, and I was having a conversation with Ashley, and it was just the idea of because of what I have, I'm either on top of the world and I feel great, or I feel like I'm rock bottom. There's no kind of in between, and I just said to her, I'm never fine. I'm never fine. It's just always kind of one or the other. And then we were like, oh, that's quite cool, Neverfine. And then we just kind of smashed them together, and we were like, that's a cool band name.
Yeah.
And it must be a good band name, because when you Google it, it's just us that comes up.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Free search engine optimization. So, yeah.
Some of the themes in your music deal with mental health as well. How difficult is it for yourselves to get your music across? And with streaming nowadays becoming easier for people to access music, do you think this is good, or do you feel it should be better?
What do you?
I feel like I think it's good at getting it out to people and people discovering it. But in terms of I think Spotify isn't great for royalties and stuff.
Yeah.
So that definitely is.
But it helps when there's things like BBC Uploader. BBC Uploader help a lot, because it's a platform like the BBC, more people pay attention to it and that. Because unfortunately, people are more inclined to pay attention to bigger companies and corporations and that, which it's rotten that that's the way it is, but like if the BBC put your song out there, then more people are going to hear it, and that's what, and then people go to your streaming, and then you get more fans through that. So I think it's cool in that way, but definitely when it comes to paying the people who are putting content on your platform in terms of Spotify and that, I think that should be a little better. Yeah.
That's why I'm such a big fan of the likes of Bandcamp, because that is a really good example of somewhere where you can really support the artist directly, especially with Bandcamp Friday. Chuck a few quid towards a song. We had someone buy our EP yesterday, which was amazing.
Wow.
Like we could have never have anticipated that happening. And then in terms of merch sales and stuff as well, it's a really great place to support artists. And then on top of that, if you're putting on shows as well and people are willing to come along to that, that makes a big difference as well to compensate for the lack of revenue you make through streaming.
We're given big answers, so we'll try to.
So Craig, like myself, we both do struggle with mental health. Does most of the songwriting come through your own experiences, or is it a band experience from the three of you?
It's probably from the three of us. I think like when I write the music and stuff like that, it like reminds me and makes me think of stuff in my head. And then a lot of the music also comes from like the songs. I'd say like Alive came from me being like really like annoyed and angry and all this kind of stuff, and that I think I wrote that like midnight or something, didn't I? And I was just really fed up, and that just came out of that. But then Pause is totally different, because I was kind of, I felt like I was in an alright place there. My mental health was a bit better, so I think like it kind of influences stuff like that. But then when it comes into bringing the girls in, sending them ideas, like you just have a lot of input as well. But I feel like all the lyrical kind of themes and stuff, like we all kind of get it and understand it.
Yeah. And especially when it comes to our lyrics as well, they definitely derive from personal experiences that we have all been through over the last few years, relationship struggles, and for example, Alive is about addiction, and we know people that struggle with addiction, unfortunately, and it's these types of themes that we're willing to explore. And the EP as a whole, it's one of those things where it's just about exploring the complexities of human emotion. So I think we've done a really good job, and we're really proud of ourselves for getting that message across.
Yeah.
If you were to collaborate with a band, what band would it be?
Health.
Health are really good. I would maybe say Churches, actually.
Churches would be cool, because like we feel really like inspired by them, because it's really cool following someone from like pretty much the start of their career, like a band from the start of their career, and seeing someone from where you're from get that successful. It makes you feel like, oh, I could do that as well if I put a bit of hard work in. Obviously a bit of luck as well. But yeah, Churches is a big one. So like Churches, Health. You always want to do 9 Inch Nails, and then
I'd like to collaborate with Nightworks.
Yeah,
That'd be good. Yeah, definitely.
That's the main people, I'd say. Yeah.
So who inspired you to make music, to form the band? Was it yourself, Craig, or was it Ashley that, or was it the three of you?
I think it was like, I don't know, for ages I've always liked playing music and that, but then as I've got older I got into different kinds of music, and I stopped drumming in metal bands and all that, and I started listening to like hip hop and electronic stuff, and I was like, oh, I really think I want to do something with this, and that was like 3 years ago, and then that's when I started going, oh, it's lockdown, I may as well like write this stuff, and then sent it to Ashley, and then we got Jess on board, and that's kind of how it started. Yeah.
So Ashley, what kind of singer would you classify yourself as?
A good one.
I would hope so.
I'll cut that out.
I'm not sure before. I've never been asked that question. Craig likes to think that I sound a lot like Lauren Mayberry, just going back to the Churches reference.
Okay.
I think your voice was described as crystalline by the skinny, which is quite interesting.
I think like I've got a lot of clarity to my tone and my voice and my overall timbre.
And your diction.
And my diction as well, and I think that just comes from years of studying music. My vocal tutor at college now, he really brought my vocals to the next level, and I have him to thank for getting me to where I am today.
So do you struggle with performance anxiety, and how do you cope with it prior to a gig? That's for the three of you. I mean,
I don't think I struggle from it as much. I think there's always a bit of nerves, but like usually I feel quite relaxed. I think. Yeah. I think that's just from like performing in a lot of bands. Yeah. Before.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Craig?
It's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be really bad when I performed in metal bands and all that. But I think it's because it was like it's so disorganised, and you're like, oh. But I think with us, like everything's very organised, and like we try to be as on the ball as we can. And I think when everything's organised and you know what's going on, when you walk up on stage, you're like, right, I can just enjoy it because you're not got the fear of like, oh, it's going to go wrong. And that. I mean, there's always something will happen. Not everyone's going to go to plan. That's just the nature of it. But at the same time, it's like. That helps you a lot, and when you're comfortable knowing everything's going to work, you know. Like today, our sound check was like perfect.
Oh, so smooth.
Yeah, and like this
Smoothest one yet.
Gordon and Andrew are absolutely amazing, and they're just like, is that it? All right, cool. So we were all like, oh, fantastic. But I think you're not that bad.
I would say like because I have an anxiety disorder anyway, so like
We're a very fucked up band.
I have an anxiety disorder, so I tend to get more nervous just in general, but I think I'm usually okay until about half an hour before I'm due to go on stage, and then that's when it kind of hits me and I do start to feel really nervous. But once I get up there and I start performing, it just all disappears. And
maybe just try to have fun with it, man. And then you're not as nervous because you're just like having a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is there a particular place where you feel most creative? I'm not saying the shower or anything like that. Right? A lot of people do. They just get creative.
Yeah.
You know, having a shower and that's where it all comes out.
we feel really creative when we're at Edwin, our producer. Like he's like his studio, the way it looks and the vibe he gives off is like he's not like being all professional and that. He's like he makes it like I mean he is. I was gonna say makes it like he's your friend, but he has became our friend because he's just so like comforting and he's really comfortable to work with, and the environment is really nice, it's dimly lit, it's all really cool. So we come up with a lot of ideas there, but I think I think Ashley has an issue with coming up with lyrics when she's driving, and she can never write them down. So she comes up with a lot of lyrics when she's driving. So maybe the car you feel really creative.
Yeah, I think there's just something strange about like when your brain is distracted with something else, like if I'm driving or if I'm at work. That's where like the creativity strangely comes from, and it's always in the moments where I can't write it down.
So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and that, if people want to get in touch with you or find out a bit more about your music,
literally everything. Yeah.
Are you on all the streaming formats?
Everything. Every DSP in the world that we can access from Britain. We're on like every social media, even Threads. Yeah. We still don't.
Threads?
Yeah, we no one knows what Threads is, but we're
on TikTok.
Yeah, we're on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, albeit we could be posting more on TikTok.
We're going to make a point of being more TikTok people, but yeah.
But yeah, you can just find us at @_Neverfine, or even if you just Google us, you'll find all of our links there.
So you got any more gigs planned for the rest of the year and next year as well? I know this is September now, so not long to go.
We've got ideas and we've got plans and that, but nothing's set in stone yet. And I think like after doing tonight and a lot of the focus we've got on is we might, I don't know, it just depends, stuff might come in, we might get offered stuff, but I think we don't want to oversaturate stuff. We don't want to be one of those bands that play Glasgow or Edinburgh or just Scotland a lot. We want to try and like spread ourselves out in that, so can't say anything yet.
Yes,
but
we do have things in the works that we can't announce yet, but they're really, really exciting, and we're going to be so excited to announce them once we're ready to.
Well, Ashley, Craig, Jessica, thanks very much for your time. I'm looking forward to your gig tonight. Neverfine, check them out. Fantastic band. I'm not just saying that. I've only played one of those songs, but I'm really looking forward to their gig tonight. And check out their music, Neverfine. One to be looking out for.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys. Thank you.